Oh, it says I am live. What's going on, people? Dre Crawford here, Recovering One Drones. Waiting for my partner, Mr. Adrian Mateo Drones, to show up here. I know he's got his hands full with the little one tonight, so I want to make sure we are on time. So I'm always the type of person I hate to have people wait for me because I am very impatient when people are late. So we are live. We are getting started, and it's a wonderful day. The 25th of March. Time is going by fast. It always seems that when you get old like me, time just goes by faster and faster. Oh, I see Mr. Adrian has popped in. Glad he can make it and stuff.
Very funny. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Adrian here from Major Mateo Drones. Dre, like I said, I got my little itty bitty one here who
Yeah.
just uh say hi. Say hi.
Yeah, yeah.
Say hi, Dre.
Hey, hey, baby.
Stuff in her mouth, always eating.
Yeah, I can say she gonna go, 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 and then she just drops off.
Exactly, yeah.
But you don't know when that's gonna happen.
Exactly. Stop. So I see that we got quite a few folks here already in the house. I'm sure that you already said hi to Teach.
No, no, I haven't said hi to anybody yet. I was just announcing that we are live, and I was here. I told them no, you're running a little late because you have the little one.
Okay.
So, be my guest to say hello to the folks that are here.
All right then. We'll go ahead and start with ouch, ouch, brother Teach. Stop, baby. Brother Teach giggles on farts and drones. Paul Wedging Big. We got Maker Steve. We got Mr. Michael Belshi. Hey man, how you doing, brother? Mikey MCH. Brother Andrew Silver Fox. We got brother Jody. Stop, baby. Drone shots. We also have Stephen Drones, USA Drone Flyer, Capture America. Thank you for popping in. And we got Mayu Drone 4K. Thank you for being here. We got brother Bob Casey. Thank you for popping in. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put the link in the chat one more time. If anyone is interested in joining, feel free to do so.
Hey, what's up, V Dub? Whether you can make it.
We got brother V Dub. How you doing, brother? Thank you for popping in. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Again, the link is there in the chat. Let me go ahead and actually put the pin the link. Then I have to go ahead and go here. I'm probably gonna have to mute that. Yep.
Okay.
Boom. Dismiss. Stop, baby. And there's the link. How you doing, brother John? Flying Flame Media. Thank you for popping in. I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
Appreciate
fine
the
fit.
little support. Okay, so the link has been pinned to the chat. If anybody wants to pop in, say hi, join the show. I would really appreciate that. If anybody here in the chat that have never been in the show, you're more than welcome to come in. Hey, baby. Hey, honey bun.
Well, I will say first thing, let's take care of some of the obvious stuff. I want to know what's up with TJ and a new addition to his name. TJ Giggles Farts and Drones.
I know, right? Stop, baby.
is it,
He done
is
that.
it,
He done that for a little bit, but I don't. I really
that's,
don't understand why. But he's
that's
doing
the
it.
first time I noticed it. I said, is it a new condition? As you giggle, you start farting now, or what?
I guess so.
I know how you feel, Paul. I was just put out a video of my trip within minutes of us going live, so it's
Oh,
floating
really?
out there.
Well, I'm assuming that you have epidemic music in there. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
if
So I
you want to
guess
go ahead and pop it in, but yet mute the music, feel free. But the music is what makes the video.
that's right. This one here, I edit everything to the music. So I mean, well, I got to ask. There's a question there now. If I play it on your show, it's my video. I have the account. Now, now I'm the one playing it. Will it count against you, or does it hold for me?
Unfortunately, it will still count against me because it's on the stream under my name,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
and I do have a clean record. All I'm trying to do is go through the amount of hours, and then I get that chance to
Right,
get a channel monetized. But any strike will actually ding me from even being
right.
able to go ahead and do so. So that's why I don't want to mess that
Uh,
up. I want to
no
keep that.
problem. No problem. Like I said, they want to see it. I'll put the link in the chat if anybody wants to go see it. That way, you don't have to be concerned about that. Because this one is edited right to the music, so it doesn't make much sense unless you can hear the music.
Yeah, I understand. Give me 1 second. Let me
Okay, let me get back here.
that right there. Let me mirror. There you go. Much better. So let me go ahead and, well, Dre, if you don't mind, sir, go ahead and keep it moving. Let me go ahead and grab her because she run out of the office and I want to know what it is she's doing. But when I don't hear what
Okay.
she's doing, she up to no good. I'll be right back.
Okay, not a problem. Hey, like I say, everybody, just I was on vacation for a week. Just got away. Just me and the wife. Sometimes it's what you need to do. And we were up in a place called Solvang, California, which is it's a tourist area that has a Dutch or we say Dutch or Denmark type setting. Everything there is either handcraft or original Dutch Denmark type food. So we were up there for the last week or so and had a good time. And sometimes I mean, didn't have to do a whole lot. I mean, there's if you guys have that gambling bug, there's a casino right down the road, about 5 miles down the road, if you need to go gamble or something. But it was just a good time to hang out. The weather was kind of iffy, so that kind of kept us indoors for most of the time we were up there. But yeah, I had a good time, and my wife had a good time just relaxing. And sometimes it's what you need to do. Just get away. It's not always about just going on different trips and things and so forth, but just spending some quality time. Oh, okay. What's Adrian at the Mini 3 is awesome. Well, I went up to Solvang. I took my Mavic 2 Pro up there with me, and I took the this new pocket camera I picked up called the 90 Fun Capture One. It's made by FIMI, which is Zomi is the parent company. A couple of those engineers went off on their own and designed this, and it's not a bad little camera. I mean, it has some drawbacks for what I would use it for out in the field. Like I said, I love the FIMI Palm 2 Pro because it has that standard screw mount in the bottom of it. So I can mount it on a mini tripod or full size tripod. So that makes me more confident when I'm using it out in the field. This 90 Fun Capture One, like I said, you look at the quality of what I put in this video. I did a variety of different shooting formats, everything from time lapse to regular video slow mo. Only thing I didn't get a chance to do because the weather was kind of cloudy. I wanted to do a long exposure, but I would like to have had it in a more lit location. And like I said, because it was off and on raining quite a bit, I didn't get a chance to get out at night to see the low light. But I did have some covered areas, not as dark as being at night, but you can see the quality of the camera itself. It runs right now. I know on eBay you can get it as cheap as $225 for it. I paid a little more about a couple of weeks back, and like I said, the price keep dropping. It actually was even cheaper than that when it came under its original name, which was the Morange M with the letter name spelling of orange. One was the original name of it, and then that's when FIMI came in and revitalized the product and reintroduce it to the community. It's very popular in the Southeast Asian part of the world, which pocket cameras are a big thing in those areas. So if you look it up on YouTube, you're not going to see a whole lot of videos. You see very rare. I think one guy and his wife who took it to Disneyland about a year ago, and and like I say, myself here are stateside. Everything else you're going to see may come in a different language and everything. But at one point, this thing was going for 100 pounds, which would be, I think, about 120, 25 bucks for American dollars. Hey, Fly Zone, Jim's Droney. I saw Mr. Captain Ray Kelly slide in the side door there. Andrew Silver Fox. All right. Welcome, gentlemen. And always please hit the thumbs up button. It helps us out to reach out across the algorithm of YouTube. As we all know, none of us can figure it out, but we all know hitting that thumbs up helps and everything. I know Ray Kelly and his crew are in, I say, first, second gear, grinding everything out, getting everything set up. I think he's only got about a week left before the big meetup down there in South Florida. So like I said, those who are planning to attend, I wish you the best down there and safe travels there and returning home. And speaking of which, if anybody knows any of our people in our community who live in the Mississippi area, northern tips of Louisiana, parts of Alabama who got hit with the tornadoes, I can say make sure we put their names out there so somebody can reach out to them to check on them and make sure they're doing okay. There was a tornado here in California. We had two tornadoes. One was about 20 miles south of where I was at, and just south of Santa Barbara. And another one was there in outside of the city of LA in Montebello, California, which is rare. California has not really had we call a verifiable tornado. We've had water spouts that would come, but a tornado is a whole different thing for us. But this one, I think one was a category, I guess the lowest number is a 1 that we had. In Montebello, speeds up to about 75 miles per hour, which is, I guess, that's a nothing deal. But, any type of extreme weather can cause damage no matter where you're at. So, like I said, I know some folks are getting a lot of rain and even snow in some parts. So, like I said, you guys be safe out there. Don't let the weather fool you into going out trying to fly when you shouldn't be out there. Like I say, Fly Zone say you still got snow there in Illinois. Yeah, it does not surprise me. And stuff.
How you doing, Brother Barkley 107 Drones?
Yeah,
Brother
Barkley slid in. Yeah.
How you doing, Brother Mike Fly Zone Drone? Thank you for popping in. Guys, do me a favor. Smash that thumbs up on the stream. I really appreciate it.
What's up, Matty?
I know that a lot of you guys have. How you doing, Mr. Matty Drone World? Thank you for popping in, buddy. Really appreciate it.
Oh, Adrian, Mike from Fly Zone Drone said that the Mavic Mini 3 Pro is an awesome drone.
Yeah, I bet it is. It looks awesome over there away from you, way over there. I don't want nothing to do with it. Way the heck out there. I don't want nothing to do with it. Anyway, guys, I know you guys noticed that I have not stop, baby. I have not done any videos in over 3 months or even some shorts in a little while. I've been working so damn much, man. I'm really busy that I haven't really have any time to make any videos. So I'm still here. I'm still trying to do the stream every Saturday. Sit down, baby. Siéntate. As much as I can. Siéntate. Come here. Get over here. Hey, come here. Thank you. Sorry. Anyway, I haven't done a video in a little while. It's just that I've been busy, man, working a lot of hours. So bear with me. I'm going to try my hardest to make it happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes life is like that. We get busy, and sometimes we got to put our priorities in line. And like I said, unless you're doing this as your 24/7 lifeline, flying is always going to be second nature. Oh, we got a special guest popping here.
Shit, really? Out of the blues.
We got
never been on my show before. Bring him in, Ray.
We have streaming royalty coming, folks. Make sure you guys all clean your feet and everything, and make sure you make the crumbs off your shirt, because we're going to bring in Mr. Paul Murray.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
What's going
Doing
on,
good,
brother Paul?
I
Doing
saw
good.
you were on, and it's been storming up here and 60-mile-an-hour winds and rain and a little bit of spit and snow. But I thought I'd come in and say hello and see how everybody's doing, Dre. And
Oh,
Pretty good, man. How about you, brother? How you doing?
well, getting older by the day, but you know how that goes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Well, I must say, Paul, that I was impressed with your video today of that flying that thick fog.
Yeah.
I was getting a little nervous, and I'm not even there. I just like, now how is he be able to judge where the bridge is at? Because that
Well,
fog was pretty thick.
Yeah, I fly down there so much that I
Uh-huh.
pretty much know every inch of
Don't
there.
touch it, okay?
Okay. Okay.
But yes, I keep an eye on my altitude, and
Yeah.
because the bottom of the bridge is about 225 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Top of the bridge is about 275, 280 feet.
Right.
So as long as I keep down within because usually when I fly a ship, it's about 50 feet.
Right. Right. Yeah, I'm always nervous about the pillars. You know,
Yeah.
to hold the bridge up, and I'm like, and I'm thinking that I see you. Like I said, you've been out there doing it for a long time, so you know where you're at.
When I
even-
can see a little bit of the shore, Dre, I know
Mhm.
where I am. You know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I thought maybe you were talking about my bridge video.
No, I saw that too, but when I saw that one, I think the next day you posted the one with the fog, and I'm like, whoa.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah. I actually did two of them with the fog.
yeah.
But yeah, they it gives a different perspective.
Oh, it definitely does. Different. I would say definitely a pucker factor.
Well, the only thing is when I was flying that there was a little bit of wind, but not bad.
Mm-hmm.
But now today, when I was flying, the wind was picking up. When I started flying the first ship, I did a couple of ships today. When I started flying the first ship, it was like 15, 18 mile an hour, gusting to 28. Then the second ship was 20 to 23 mile an hour, gusting to 35.
Mm.
And but you know, I'm so impressed with the Air 2S that
Uh-huh.
because of the low profile, it just seems to just cut
Right.
right through. It doesn't, because you know, when we fly the big drones like the Inspires or whatever, when of course I sold mine, but when I fly them, you know, they could catch wind just on the side because they're so big, you know.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Let me go ahead and welcome brother Lon Denard, Gary Brown Ariels. Thank you for popping in. I'm looking forward to seeing you as well, Bob Casey. I cannot believe that it's actually been 2 years since the last John Mito. How you doing, brother Ray of Sunshine? Thank you for popping in. I really appreciate it. So you still getting snow?
Yeah,
Hey,
a little,
Michigan
just a
still
little
cold?
bit of snow. Yep.
Holy cow!
Well, it's right now it's 37 degrees, so it's still spitting snow, but you know it really is not a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah. When you get it constantly, I should say, constantly, it kind of wears on you.
Well, it screws up your plans, you know.
Right. Right.
Um, and so you know that's pretty much what it is. It just makes you wonder.
Well, I can say it makes you wonder, but we all know, God willing, the sun will come up tomorrow, and it'll be another day.
Yep, yeah, exactly. And the thing of it is that you know the majority of my videos are doing ship videos. I've done some other stuff, but the ship videos is really kind of my base.
Right.
And so I know just about every inch of that river.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And so that kind of helps too.
Yeah, which is nice. You're flying familiar territory, which is always a comfort factor when you're out there. That's why I'm saying that. I'm watching that one in the fog, and I'm getting a little anxious, you know, because I don't know it. I don't know where everything is at like
Right.
you do. You do it so often.
Right.
And I'm sitting there saying, oh, man, you know, what's going to happen and so forth and everything. But I'm glad you're here, Paul, because I'm glad Lon popped in, because I know Lon said he's seen this software. I just saw the video on this today. I guess it came out about a month ago. DJI has put out a pretty basic editing software called Lightcut. And I was watching the video on that, and it's I guess it's basically a phone app type of editing thing, but I'm pretty sure you might be able to download it to a computer. But you're able to connect your stuff right from, I believe, the Mini 3 Pro, maybe the Air 2S, and several other newer drones, straight to your phone or into that app, and it allows you to edit everything pretty seamlessly on the spot.
Right.
And it has a lot of templates that you can use, and it basically will put together a video for you within about less than 5 minutes, and have you upload it.
Yeah. Well, that's a little bit more high tech than I am, because as we've talked before, Dre,
mm-hmm.
I'm still using old school software.
Yeah.
Movie Maker,
Mm-hmm.
And and I find the older I get, I'll be 71 in June. The older I get, I don't like change. I used to think I was with it at one time.
Right.
And now I found that with it went by me back in
yeah, well, like I would say a lot of us, we get comfortable where we're at, and we become more resistant to the change and stuff. And so why they do this? And that's why I know it was a big uproar in the editing community when one of those programs stopped supporting
it. Yep.
Yeah, and some of those folks had lifetime licenses for that product, and they said they just lost everything. Now, like what Lon was just saying, that this Lightcut has been out for a while, but like I said, today was the first time I heard. I know the video was about a couple months back, but I guess they didn't push it a lot. But it's by DJI called Lightcut, and I know you can put it on your phone. But what the guy was showing, that it does some pretty good editing right off the bat, and very little input from yourself. And like I say, you're allowed to upload it straight to YouTube and other platforms pretty quickly. So I know a lot of folks like doing that, and like I said, a lot of folks don't want to get into the get into the weeds.
Thank you, Bob
of editing, and especially people talking about doing things in D-Log and trying to do all that kind of stuff. Like for me, I don't like getting into all that kind of stuff. When I first got into drones, I thought that was something I needed to do, but I found out for me, if I shoot it well the first time, I don't have to do much in post.
Yeah,
and that's the why. So I started to learn more about using filters, the ND filters, and the polarized lenses and things of that nature. Just learning more about the sun and where the sun's at, all that kind of stuff. So I don't have to do much work in post and put out a nice video. So I felt that was more my speed than start going back and want to do a lot of editing and adding LUTs and all these different things that you can do to maximize everything. But if you want to spend that much time, to me, it's like you're spending more time doing that than you're out flying.
Let me go and welcome Brother Leonard, JSK Enterprise. Thank you for popping in.
Hey, JSK. Welcome.
So, Paul Murray, you still doing all your videos constantly like you normally do?
Yeah, I try. Well, there was a little bit of a break, Adrian. I don't know if you know it or not, but the Army Corps of Engineers runs the lock system up here in the Great Lakes. And every year, about the 20th of January, they close down the locks.
Okay.
For maintenance. And then they just opened them up this weekend, this morning at 12:01 a.m.
Okay.
They opened them up again for the season. And so now all the ships are just moving around all over, But before that, I still had like tankers that go to Sarnia, which is across from me, just south of me along the riverside. They have all kinds of petroleum plants where they make different petroleum products and ship them around the Great Lakes. So they were still able, all the tankers were still able to go from, down in Erie all the way up and around. And they couldn't go up into Superior, but they could loop around and go to Chicago because there's no locks. So they were still moving some petroleum and chemical products around. But right now, with this high wind, 50-mile-an-hour winds or whatever, there's several ships that are just out in the anchorage, just out north of Port Huron, weathering out the storm.
Yep. Yeah. So,
But normally, to answer your question, Adrian, succinctly, is any given day, on a regular day, you might have 6, 8, 10 freighters going either upbound or downbound.
Okay.
oh wow.
Now, I know you mentioned, Paul Murray, that your DJI Air 2S. I actually got a pop-up on my iPhone about DJI coming out with a DJI Air 3S. Have you heard anything about that?
No, I haven't.
I actually got a pop-up notification saying about it. Talking about it.
I'm so happy with the Air 2S, and I know you've talked about it too.
Oh yeah. I mean, that drone is
everything that I need to do.
That one, that's for sure.
The zoom and the quality and everything else and everything I need to do, it does it all. But I would be interesting because I bought, you may know this, but I bought the Mini 3 Pro and I kept it for about a month, but it just didn't seem to have the power in the winds because I get winds on the water quite a bit.
Okay. So did you get rid of it?
Have the power because those ships are going through the channel at about 8 knots, and so if the wind is a headwind, there was times I'd try to come around and get ahead of the ship and give it a circle, and I couldn't make it. It just wouldn't go.
So did you get rid of it?
Yeah, the Mini 3. I sold it to AZ. Bought it.
AZ Drone Dude. Okay.
Yep. He bought it for his nephew, is I remember.
Okay.
But it was a great flyer. I mean, if all you're doing is just flying normally, not having to worry about winds or whatever, it was a nice drone. There was no doubt. That little controller with the screen on it and everything was nice.
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing that kind of aggravates me about DJI is, I have the smart controller, the old original smart controller that I fly most everything with. But you cannot fly the Mini 3 with the older smart controller.
Right.
Nope.
Right. Yep.
And why they do that, I don't know.
Well,
They want to squeeze every little dime out of you.
They want to sell more controllers, I think.
They want to stop. They want to squeeze the life out of you. That's why.
Well, I always say, I was a firm believer DJI was doing that until they opened up the original smart controller to a lot of drones a year ago or so. But they cannot be no worse than Autel.
Yeah.
Autel is just like, suck on this. That's pretty much Autel says, suck on this.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
Well, but speaking of Autel, I don't know. I think this, Dre. I don't know if you know it, Adrian, but I bought the Nano Plus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I fly that at nighttime because the nighttime camera settings in auto are just superb. It just captures all the color. It captures whatever lights down there on the water.
Yeah.
And it just does one hell of a job for the money.
Mm-hmm.
However, it runs. It's the same type of situation. I think it has a little bit more power than the Mini 3, but there's times when it seems underpowered. And I don't know, Dre, I know you've flown Autels quite a bit. I haven't flown Autels since back the big orange pumpkin, But
Mm-hmm.
um, you got to get used to when you fly an hotel. There's a lag in the time the controller and the drone moves. So when
Oh.
I'm coming around the ship and I'm going to go up the side of the ship and it
Mm-hmm.
starts to wander towards the ship and I might give it a little bit of right stick, and
Uh-huh.
it doesn't move. It doesn't move. And so I give it more and more and pretty soon it's doing this,
Oh, yeah.
and then back again. Where the
Mm-hmm.
DJI is pretty much spot on.
Wow. That can be very unnerving when you, especially in close quarters.
Yeah, it was at first because it really made me. But the more I flew it, the better I got at it. I just give it a little nudge and wait a second or two, and then
Mm-hmm.
pretty soon it starts to move that way. And
Yeah. Yeah. Because somebody was talking about one of the controllers was having some lag, and just like people were saying about the original smart controller, when you're doing the screen recording, you are producing lag because you're taxing the
right,
the chip inside. And I was telling them that's probably the problem with one of the newer controllers. I think it's one of the N1, whatever it is, controller with the screen. And they're saying that, and that's why I used to tell even Adrian when he was using one of the smart controllers a couple of years ago. I said, don't use the screen recording and see how it responds, because I never was a big screen recorder. And like I said, it wasn't for Adrian bugging me for the last year and a half. So I've done a few flights with the screen recorder because now I'm nervous because of what he went through with the screen lag. Like you said,
right,
I don't want to have that additional lag time affect how I'm trying to fly. Because now I'm trying to make sure I'm trying not to overcompensate too much because of the delay and stuff. So that's something you got to always keep in mind when you're out there. Like I always tell people, know your equipment. If you
yep,
know you're going to have these kind of delays, you need to fly in that manner so you're not trying to overcompensate and everything else, and you end up crashing into something else, and because of the delay response.
Yeah. So basically, that's what you're having, Paul. You're having a little bit of a delay with you.
a little bit of a
Operating.
lag. Yep, in my controls on the Nano Plus. Not if I didn't fly as much as I flew, I'd be really nervous about it
Mm-hmm.
because if I started to move towards my subject, especially a moving item, a ship,
Right.
if it started to glide over that way, and I
Mm-hmm.
gave it the right stick, and it still continued to glide that way, I go, oh man! So then I would overcorrect, and
Right.
it would cause it to go like this,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and but once you just give it just a little pinch that way and a little pinch, more,
Right. And that's what I say about knowing your equipment. So
Yeah.
you don't do the big we call corrections, and
Right.
that'll get you in more trouble when you're trying to overcorrect, and next you know you're out of position or you're too close to something else, and you're going back and forth just trying to gain control.
Yeah.
Just like driving a car on a wet road, you overcorrect, and next you know you got the tail end where the front end is supposed to be.
I'm still amazed though, the quality of that little drone being
Yeah.
the size of my hand, giving me
Mhm.
that good a video quality at nighttime.
Yeah.
Now I do have a question. How you doing, brother Mickey MCH? A question for you, Dre. Like Ray of Sunshine just said, he also liked to do screen recording. What do you have against screen recording? Because you're doing a great freaking job with that M30P doing screen recording, by the way. You're doing it like you've done this a lot.
Well, it wasn't, like I say, it's for me. I didn't never felt a need to do it. That's what I'm
By the
saying.
way, Paul, he really kicked my ass talking crap about it, but he's doing it now without even me asking, by the way.
Well, like I say, I never felt a great need to do it because it didn't add to anything. And then when you guys were talking about the lag and everything else, I always told myself, well, I'm glad I don't do it because that's not part of. I mean, when I do videos, I do it for a specific reason and everything else. Now,
Right.
yeah, if I'm doing a tutorial type video that has something to do within the controller itself, okay, yeah, I'll screen record it and then I'm talking. But another thing is the difference is, Adrian, is that the mic on the original smart controller is crap. The mic on the RC Pro Plus, great recording. When I use
That's
it,
for the M30T, right?
yeah, for the N30T, that thing picks up my voice as if I'm using a lavalier mic.
Yeah.
Wow.
It picks up sound very good. I like I said, I noticed on the original smart controller, it is very muffled, and it sometimes gets kind of gargled and
Yeah.
everything. So that's why it's kind of like, yeah, it's nice to see all the telemetry on there and people can see what you're doing and stuff, and then everything else. But like I say, when you're trying to talk as you're flying, I always tell people you don't want to have extra gear that you don't need. So now I'm like, worried about holding the controller so close to my face or whatever, so I can talk clearly into it. Where, like I said, with the pocket gimbal camera I have now, that Fimi Palm 2 Pro, I can hook it up to a wireless mic, put it on my thing. That thing's filming me, and it picks up everything I say clearly without having to use a screen recorder. I can tell you what I'm doing on the screen, maybe show a clip of it if I need to, but I'm also on film and I'm also recording in a clear voice.
Okay. Well, I hate to tell you, I'm going to have to take a little break. I don't know whether to turn the camera off or just leave this camera going. Mia's been walking back and forth to the back door saying, "Hey,
okay,
hey,
yeah,
hey, hey."
I understand.
Now she's over here flipping my hand with her head.
Yeah.
Going, hey.
Yeah. I understand.
I'm gonna go let her out right back.
Okay.
All right.
Take your time, Paul.
How you doing, brother Lambo Drive Zombo FPV? Thank you for popping in. Really do appreciate it.
Yeah, Lambo. People can say, yeah, it's good you can use it for recovery or proof of error for warranty, but see, that's what your flight logs are there for. Your flight logs that tell you the same information what a screen recording tells you, because it's the same thing. So that's what I'm saying. If doing a screen recording is causing more lag and you're flying, as far as you being able to respond, I would have to say don't do it unless you're flying in a very wide open area where you can compensate for the lag.
Yeah, when it comes to the original smart controller, it does lag when you screen record. It does do that.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the DJI RC Pro that I have for my Mavic 3, I do not have any lag at all.
Yeah.
Except the Mavic 3 remote, the RC Pro does not have a mic for you to screen record. Your voice. It does screen record it, but not your voice.
Yeah. So I guess there's plus. I always tell people there's plus and minuses to everything you get with drones, and just like any other type of electronic gear. Sometimes you got to take the good with the bad and the bad with the good, and keep on pushing. So, yeah, and that's what I tell.
James Morgan, thank you for popping in, sir.
Yeah, that's all I say. Depending upon what type of videos you're doing, if you're just doing landscape videos and stuff like that, there's no real big reason to do a screen recording. And like I said, to me, a screen recording is only really helpful if you're trying to do like a tutorial type flight where you're explaining something.
Right.
And like you said, if it has a good mic on it, great. Now, if it doesn't, now you got to hook up a mic system to record your voice and then match up the voice with the video.
Yeah.
And post.
Sit down. Thank you. Don't
Yeah.
even try.
Captain Joe America said he tried to use a screen recording on this DJI RC. The controller crashed twice. Had not tried with the RC Pro. Yeah.
Sit down.
Like you say, Adrian, you said the RC Pro doesn't have a mic?
No, it does not. You could screen record pretty nice, but it does not have a mic.
Well, that's what I say. Lon, I can say, it depends on what you're doing. I was never a big fan of the on-screen recording and all that kind of stuff. And and like you say, the mic on the original smart controller is garbage. So that's why I use more of the pocket cameras and use the wireless mic system when I use a when I want to talk while I'm flying. Now he said hook up a microphone to the other. Now somebody's telling me, does RC Pro have a mic jack, Adrian?
On my RC Pro, no, it doesn't have no mic, nothing on it, no mic jack or nothing.
Okay, Yellow Rose says you can add a USB Bluetooth mic to the USB-C port.
I don't know if that is for the Mini 3 Pro RC, but I don't know if you could do it with the DJI RC Pro for the Mavic 3. Maybe I need to take a look at it. Well,
Yeah.
Yellow Road Drone, I said that you could also do that as well.
Yeah. Brett says that you can use a mic for the RC Pro for phone calls and recording. It supports an external microphone through the USB Type-C port. So you got to buy a lavalier mic with a USB-C end on it and stuff.
Hey, how you doing, brother Herman? Phantom Fly 101. How you doing, bro? Thank you for popping in. Okay, so why do you use Herman? Honestly, I do not know, Lee. Long Not is the one that went ahead and made that comment. Maybe you do, and also Brown Ariels Gary. Me personally, I don't know. I've never done it.
Yeah. Well, this is a good question because I know a couple of folks questioned this when they first came out over a year ago. And I guess I haven't heard a lot of information as far as mic adapters. and that's why sometimes we need to have these type of discussions to see what's out there and what works best.
Yeah. Hey, Herman, I do have the link for the stream if you wanna come into the panel and talk with us a little bit. If anyone is interested, the link is in the chat, pinned to the comments. Go ahead and pop on there if you want to.
Yeah.
Everybody's welcome if you want to pop in.
Mr. Chris Hope. Chris Hope
survived out. She survived out in the wind. She came running back to the house when I went to the back door. Her ears were just going like this in the wind.
Oh boy.
You said Chris Hope is here?
Yeah, he just popped in.
Chris Hope.
Hey, Chris.
Thank you for popping in, so I really appreciate it.
Now, do you have any other drones, Dre, that do night vision stuff other than your big one?
I have the Mavic Enterprise Advance also. That's the drone I usually take to work every day with me because it gives me, the dual ability and a portability factor of anything that may come up all of a sudden.
I don't know why I had them, but I've had all the different ones, including the big one you used to hang on the bottom of the Inspire and everything.
Yeah.
Of course, I sold all that stuff, but I missed the Advance, having that with the thermal, because what I liked about DJI, because I had an Anafi too, the thermal dual.
Yeah.
Is that you had to manually switch which one you're recording. It didn't record both.
Right.
Where the DJI, after you get it back, you can
manipulate. Right, because like I say, it records simultaneously all the time.
Right.
So that is, and like I say, with the M30T, it can record all 4 cameras at the same time.
Wow.
So you can eliminate cameras, or you can have them all on. So when you hit record, everything's recording, from the FPV camera all the way to the thermal, and both the wide lens and the zoom. Everybody's recording.
Have you done any night search for anybody or anything?
No, I haven't got a call yet. Like I said, I'm relying upon my PD friends to call me in that situation. I haven't got. That's why I say that's why I take the Enterprise Advance every day to work, just in case we need it for some kind of situation. I don't live in a forest area or anything like that close by. So, but like I said, it's still an urban area where it could be a big search. If somebody got into the train yard or something, I could be called out to locate somebody pretty quickly then.
Right.
If they got into the large train yard or something like that, or in one of these large warehouse facilities or something like that, and they're out in the parking areas, that would be the only way I'd be called out. And like I said, once again, just like over in Ohio, if we have we've had derailments here in San Bernardino over the years, and now with the use of drones, that's where I see us being able to help out. A lot of times there is to check out thermal conditions of different train cars.
I would think in a disaster situation like a tornado,
Mhm.
you could look for human
No.
heat, temperature, like in
Yeah.
collapsed buildings and.
You want some soup?
Yeah, like I say, that's why I've been trying to push our my city as far as our readiness as far as of a natural disaster. I mean, we live right here on the San Andreas Fault, so it's just a matter of when it's going to happen for us, because it will happen. And like I said, we have not done any type of drills of any sorts at all since I've been in my position for any kind of a natural disaster situation or even man-made disasters.
Have a good night, Lambert. Thank you for popping in, buddy. Hey,
It's just a matter of the right people being in the right spot who are more focused on those kind of activities.
Hey, brother Joy and Paul, hold it down for me a little bit. Let me go ahead and get us something to eat real quick.
Okay. Not a problem.
The interesting. Did you see the posting today of the Louisiana tornado that was 7 miles long and wiped out several communities?
No, I had heard mostly about the one in Mississippi. I've been on
Mississippi.
Yeah. I've been on vacation for last week up in Central Coast.
Somebody posted a really great video, a drone video today.
Okay.
Flying it, and it's just it's just my heart just goes out for those people. I mean, thousands and thousands of homes destroyed and trucks and everything thrown over, and it was a rural area. I mean, not really heavily populated, but it did go through some populated areas.
Right. Yeah.
But it was like a farm area, like where down the road you might have house, barn, house, and it just wiped them out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's when I realized, Dre, I won't live long enough to see what the end result is, but I look back at my first aircraft that I put in the air was on the end of a string, and it just went around like this, and just up and down and up and down, and
right.
And now today, to be able to fly these drones the way we do, is just unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, it's just a matter of, I always tell people, you got to hopefully have somebody who's in charge of the purse strings, who's on board with the new technology, who's willing to say, okay, we're going to allocate some funds to get us prepared for these scenarios, because there are just certain areas of our country. I mean, no matter where you live at, there's always certain natural disasters that occur. And I say where drones could be a very vital tool to help in search and rescue, can help in damage assessment, can help in any type of logistics situation and how to deploy your assets to where you need it most. Instead of having people go out and just drive around, take a look, I said you fly around.
Exactly.
And you can report back, and then you get all the information.
A visual of a serious auto truck accident, from the air is worth a lot, rather than back in the old days. Remember, they used to back there and pace off the different things and try and figure out where the skid marks are and all. With a drone, you can just see it all.
Yeah. So,
but the drawback is, unless you're in a community, this is what I found. Now, maybe I'm not thinking correctly. Unless you're in a community where you can train an officer or an employee to do that, and to stay competent doing it.
Mhm. Yeah.
The drones just sit in the trunk of cars.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I try to emphasize that with my own PD, and even the fire department, which is now we disbanded our city fire department and let it all go over to the county.
Right.
And I asked these guys, I said, how often do you guys go out and fly? And they're always talking about, oh, we fly about once every 3-4 months. I said, that's not enough.
No.
I said, you guys got to be flying. I told them, I said, at bare minimum, you got to be flying monthly. I would say twice a month to be really proficient. But I, said,
I would
you guys,
say once a week because you
Yeah.
have to know your equipment.
well, that's my whole thing. Yeah.
You have to know that when you want to use it, that the batteries are charged.
Yep.
You know, that you've got an SD card in there, and you know
Mhm.
all those kinds of things. That the
Right.
controller is ready to rock and roll, so that
Yep.
when you get there, it's simply put the drone on the ground, open it up if you have to, like on the other ones, the smaller ones, not a big deal.
Right.
But then just go. You know.
Yeah. And like I said, I know my PD, when drones first came out, they went out and, like I say, they got some grant money, went out and spent every nickel of it buying a couple of Inspire ones and didn't know what they were getting.
Yeah.
And now those same Inspire ones, which they never deployed, are sitting in a locker, don't have work because they said they lost the ability to transmit the picture, and they sent it to the shop and no one knows what's wrong with them and all this kind of stuff. I said, well, this is all about working with your equipment.
Yep.
You don't want to break it out when you need it, when you need to use it. You should be training with this, and then you know what's going on with it and everything else. And I'm like, that's the sad part.
Yeah, and because when I used to have the bigger drones and the thermal imaging cameras and stuff, I used to get called all over Southeast Michigan,
Mhm.
To come out and look for this or do that or survey.
Right.
this.
Right.
And I didn't charge them. I just went out and did it out of the goodness of my heart because it gave me flight time and learning equipment. And then all of a sudden I stopped getting calls because they went and bought their own equipment.
Yeah. Well, like I say, when it comes to first responders, there's always state and federal grants, money just sitting out there for them to apply for it. And they just need somebody to write the right words, and they'll get like $10,000, $20,000 just like that. And they'll spin up every nickel of it on one drone.
Yeah.
And then I say they'll sit there and nobody trains on it and stuff. But they sit there and say, "Oh yeah, we got some new toys," just like with all the Bearcats, we call them the armored personnel vehicle stuff. I said it's all grant money that they spend up every dime and don't spend enough time training with it.
And if it's a smaller department or a fire department, you can get a hell of a drone for $5,000.
Yeah.
So you should get 2 or 3 of them.
Right. And that's what I was telling them. I said, everybody oohs and ahs about the M30T, but I said, you know what? For the money you get, go ahead and buy about 2 or 3 Enterprise Advances.
Yep, exactly.
Buy that or the new Mavic 3 thermal. If you want to have a thermal fan, I said buy 2 or 3 of those, and you can put. And I say instead of that thing sitting at the station, they should be out in the field with the sergeants
in the trunk of the command car.
Yep. I would say put it out to the sergeant, because the sergeant's going to be the first supervisor on scene. And I said, all pretty much so many of your sergeants should be trained 107 or whatever that they can deploy in the field and have things under control. So about time they roll out the big RV command vehicle out there and stuff, everything's pretty much set in place.
Ready to go. Yep.
Ready to go.
All of the officers on patrol should be at least schooled a little bit on spotting.
Yeah. Yep. Well, that's all about training.
Yep.
That's what you train. You just don't train the guys to fly, but you also got to use that tool to train with everybody else, so they know how they're supposed to interact with that tool.
Exactly.
And so, it's always like I say, you got to have that mindset of what you have. And sometimes if you have people who just don't buy into it, it's a very uphill battle. And so,
hey, Uncle Bill's in the chat.
Okay, let's bring him in. I saw him in there. I wasn't sure if he
he is.
Had some peanut butter whiskey or not in his hand. You're here.
Oh,
Uncle
I didn't
Bill.
think you guys could bring me in. I was in there chatting
Oh
away.
yeah.
talking-
No, I can bring you. I saw when you popped in.
Dre's got control.
Yeah.
Some ignored me. That's terrible.
No, I didn't know you on
I'm a little-
purpose.
I'm a little, little
You know,
hurt.
I've been watching plenty of Johnny Carson and the rest of them for decades, so I got to know when to bring the guests in.
Okay.
You got to look. You
You,
got to look
you
for that
guys are talking
pause.
about some serious, interesting stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't know what I can bring to the table besides Zavada. And I mean, that's it. I'm a one-trick pony.
Yeah. Hey, Mr. Johnny, I hope everything's good down there. I know Johnny is not too far off where that tornado came through. I think he's near the northern parts of Louisiana.
Yeah.
And stuff. And he just got that house built. So I'm like, dude, you just recovered from one from a couple of years back, and now you built a new house. It's like,
Well, those are hurricanes. That's different. See, the difference is the direction the wind comes from. Yeah, hurricanes, it's always from one direction.
yeah.
Tornado, you don't know where it's coming from. It's around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All I know, they both have a lot of wind. And they can tear up a lot of stuff.
Yeah. I've read nothing about that whole story because it makes me sad. But I'm going to probably catch up on it tonight and say some prayers for some of the folks out there. And
Yeah.
wish
Well,
them the best.
that's what I said earlier. If anybody knows anybody in the community that's been impacted by the area, put their name in the chat so we all can be aware and possibly reach out to them if possible and just check on them. You know, that's all that we can do is hopefully somebody can reach out to them.
Somebody posted a really good video of a drone flight over top of the area. You know, skimming it and the aerials.
Yeah, I know. I stopped in your channel and I hadn't seen anything and I didn't know about the tornadoes. Right. So all I knew when I popped in your channel was you were showing this devastation and a mess. And for all I knew, it was 20 years ago. I mean, I didn't know what you were showing, and I made some stupid comment about you need to clean up your backyard.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, oh. So I should probably lay back and listen for a couple minutes.
Well,
to
see,
see
the thing of it was, Bill, is that I heard about the tornado, but when all of a sudden that popped up on my feed, and I clicked on it before I went live, and I'm going, oh my God, and so I thought, well, maybe nobody else saw it, and that's why I put the link in the.
Well, no, there's nothing wrong with what you were doing, but I just came in right in the middle of it. I didn't know what you were showing. I just made some stupid comment. And it's Bill, you're really funny.
Usually I understand tornadoes. I don't understand that much about them, but they usually skip across the countryside. This one stayed on the ground for 7 miles. And so it really had a swath. Unbelievable.
Well, here's all those folks.
Yep, I feel so sorry for them, especially when you see it. There's nothing like seeing it live, semi-live from a drone flying over it. It just your heart just goes out.
Yeah.
But
I should have just brought this whole thing down, didn't I?
No. It's just information because I had to tell a group of citizens about a month or two. We had a big community meeting and they were upset because we had one of our recent rainstorms and we had some mud. I said one of the basins failed and a bunch of mud debris came down and clogged up the road. Didn't do much other damage, but they were just, I guess everybody gets up in arms. And I told them, I said, the contractor did everything he was supposed to do. And they're saying, well, he's supposed to stop. I said, no, if you know construction, we don't stop anything. We try to mitigate it. We try to control it as best as possible. And I always tell them, and one thing I tell everybody, I said, Mother Nature is the ultimate inspector. I said, we can build something who we think on paper is impenetrable, that can stop whatever we think it stop, but let Mother Nature come in and test it and find out.
Let me tell you what, and as devastating as those photos were, and as heart-wrenching as this, that's all stuff. It's the people and the lives that are disrupted, and the loss of life, and their lives that were disrupted and they'll never be again. The same again. That's what you got to worry about.
Last report was at least 25 people are dead.
Oh God.
Several people are missing, and they're still searching.
Yeah, it's always worse when it happened at night.
Yep.
Because people don't know where it's going, where it's coming from. It just hits, and that's why I say, that's the sad part. When they come through at night, and people only get glimpses of it, like you say, 7 miles on the ground. That's just as unusual and unheard of.
Yep.
Because I think, okay, it touched down, but how wide was it? It went 7 miles, but how wide was that tornado?
It was a quarter to a half mile wide.
Yeah, see, that something like that could split a town in half.
Yep.
You can literally
Or erase a town is what it did. There
Yeah.
were several small towns that might have been, the typical four corners with a stoplight and a couple of buildings and whatever. There's nothing left. Just
Yeah. It's the B Mac in the house.
hey, B-Mac.
Hey, Brian.
Yeah.
Let's all say a prayer before we go to sleep for the folks that are trying to survive this.
Exactly. Artco.
So wait a minute. The stream doing better that I'm not there. Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's really gone up.
I mean, I'm trying to give my baby some food, and now the stream is popping up. But when I was there, nobody's trying to show up. Okay.
Well,
That's how it is.
that's because you got Dre running the show.
Exactly. Well, I'll be right back. Let me go and finish feeding my baby real
Okay.
quick.
All right.
Okay.
So
Hey,
what else
Artco, yes.
is Art here? When is he leaving for the Philippines?
Actually, the week after the meetup, he's not going to the meetup
after the-
because he's going to be in the
after the meetup.
Philippines. It's because the expense of going to the Philippines that he can't make the meetup. So I think he's going in the 8th. Like right after the week afterwards.
Well, maybe he could went to both of you to stop going for that fishing trip early in the month, hanging out at your house.
Yeah. No, I've already got a guess. Jim Beauchart's going to be here for the week.
Oh boy.
Yep. Although Art, we could just put him in his shed. He doesn't take up a lot of room.
You can tuck him into a closet.
Excuse me.
Oh boy. Oh man. Yep. Oh man, that's too much. Too much.
He said Artco's put in the chat. He says April the 7th is when he's going.
Okay. Is he going to go live from the Philippines when he's there?
I would hope so. I mean, that's got to be the allure of traveling,
Yeah, well, like I said, he can definitely have the allure of the drone community if he has some special guests, local special guests while he's there.
JKS Enterprise, how you doing? Manny's Drone World, of course, is here, and Ray of Sunshine, ROS.
Yeah, all things drones. Welcome.
Yeah.
Good deal.
So
Well, now go ahead, Paul. I'll just
anything new? You said that they're coming out with a Mini 3. Did you say, or a Mini 3 with an infrared camera on it, or?
Well, I don't know about the minis. Anything? I haven't heard anything like that, and I seriously would doubt that because it just.
That would undercut their whole thing,
Well, yeah, it would undercut, but I just don't see it being that practical on that level. I mean, we have a couple of manufacturers who have made some smaller drones, but how they're constructed makes them more practical. I think there's one, I can't think of the name of the company, but it's basically a Cinewhoop that is supposed to be for first responders or basically for SWAT use.
Yeah.
That you can break glass with it and all these different kind of stuffs and everything else. So I just don't see the advantage of a Mini 3 type of level drone with thermal and things of that nature because durability wise, I'm just saying I'm looking at the form factor of what the current Mini 3 has, and it just doesn't have the durability of trying to be used in that type of environment.
Well, was it Adrian said that he heard that there was going to be an Air
Yeah, that's what he's talking about.
Air 3S?
Yeah, something like an Air 3, something like that. I who knows? DJI is.
That's actually right, Paul. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and show you. Wait, stop. Let me go ahead and show you this real quick.
Having those kids, Adrian, is going to keep.
What's up, Lake Pilot?
That's what's going to keep you young, Adrian.
Hey, brother Lake Pilot, how you doing? We have quite a few. Oh my goodness, honey bun. Mark Wright, Andrew, thank you for opening BMAC. Let
Lake
me
Pilot. Yep.
show you
Yeah.
what I'm talking about, Paul. Hold on. Wait a minute, honey bun. Wait, baby. You cannot touch that. This is what I'm talking about, Paul. You see this right here?
Oh yeah.
Now that says 2021. But this right here, and then I also saw this information right here. Where
Yeah.
is it at? Right here. Now, how true that is, I don't know. See all this? See all this here?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how true that is. Then here comes right here too.
Okay, that's a release date. DJI Air 3 price rumors. Well,
Now, a lot of time when there's a leak, sometimes it's true, but they just keep that on the low.
this,
Like every
this
other drone.
can you blow up one of the pictures?
Hold on. This supposed to be the Air 3 right here, supposedly.
That looks just
Okay.
like the Air 2.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, okay, what am I missing?
So hold on. This supposed to be, I guess, like a little stupid video. Well, they're just showing all the video, but they're talking about it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well, what I was wondering is,
Well, I honestly do not believe all that BS, but they claim that it's supposed to be coming out.
Okay, but I understand something coming
Hey,
out.
brother,
But
how you doing,
I'm,
Chief?
I'm always interested in the specs. Okay, what does this bring to the table?
I have
well,
no idea. That's a good question. Hey, Kim, all things drone. Let me go ahead and give us some more water. I'll be right back. Now, I'm done.
I
pretty
would
much.
okay, Adrian. I would think, Dre, that they're going to include the new controller being able to use with the Air 3, because right now the Air 3 controller, you know, the little one that has the screen on it that comes with
Right.
it,
Mm-hmm.
you can't
Air 3
find
Pro.
anything backwards.
Right. Right.
There's
But like I said, I'm looking at okay, now you to me that's something they could have done with a firmware update in the current controller and the current other models. So I'm thinking that once again I got to think, what is it bringing to the table? Is it coming with what camera level do we need to go to? You know, unless you already got a 1-inch sensor on an Air 2S, right?
Right.
So what are you going to give us, a bigger sensor? You know, like the Mavic 3, or you know, I mean, what else are you? Well, that's what I'm saying. What are you bringing to the table that's going to make everybody run out? Cause like this Mini SE thing, this Mini 2 SE.
Yeah, Lon says in his opinion it's going to be a smaller version of the Mavic 3 in his opinion.
Okay, if it's an Air 2S line is going to be smaller than the Mavic, the regular Mavic 3.
Yeah.
But once again,
will it do everything that the Mavic 3 does? That's what
right. That's what I'm saying. It's got to be something in the specs that's going to make people go out and go get this. Because like I'm saying,
well, clearly it's not going to do everything the Mavic 3 does, because you know there's got to be some reason for a reduction in price point. You know,
right?
That series already is pretty damn good in adverse conditions. Not as good as obviously the full size drone, but nearly. So what's going to be the cause of the difference in price? Is it going to be because it's, I don't know, what's the size of the sensor on the Mavic 3? 1.25?
On the regular Mavic 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 2/3 sensor.
2/3.
Yeah. It's a large sensor.
They call it a 1-inch sensor, but it's not. It's really 2/3.
The Mavic 3 has a 2/3 sensor.
3/2.
What's
Probably
that?
bigger than an inch. 2/3.
Yeah, it's big. Yeah. I'm sorry, Matt. Thank you, Matty. It's a 4/3 sensor.
4/3. Yeah. Thank you. See, you confused me, man.
Dude,
what's going on, Scott? Now, just stop.
That's why I married my wife. She's the math teacher, not me. 4/3 sensor. Thank you, Matty. Yeah. So like I say, that's what I'm saying. What does something like that bring to the table?
Are they going to bring a 4/3 sensor to the to the Air series, but have it with maybe a lesser of a processor, so you're not getting all the features. Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe.
Because
But
at
I'm
that
just-
point, why would you buy the Mavic 3? If you
Yeah.
get the same sensor and you get the same throughput and the same color quality and all that, then why would you buy it?
that's
bigger?
that's just my
Because
point.
it could handle 5 or 8, 10 mile an hour faster winds. Maybe. I don't know.
But
Variable
there's
sensor.
people though that like to pack
Variable
it into
aperture,
a bag or
there
a
is that.
backpack, you know.
Variable aperture 1-inch sensor. Stay with the 1-inch and have a variable aperture. That's a nice jump. That to me that he might be right there.
Well, that just puts it on the same level
Hi,
as
Kim.
the
How you
Mavic 2
doing?
Pro.
Hey, Kim,
That-
sorry
that-
about
to
my
have a variable aperture 1-inch sensor, potentially that puts it at the same level as a Mavic 2 Pro. Now, vertical video, that might be the new trick, because you can
Wait, the
flip.
2 Pro had a 1-inch sensor and a variable aperture.
Yep,
Sit down.
yep. So that's why.
Okay,
that's-
so you're bringing a 2 Pro level with a little bit newer technology
yeah.
onto the 2S series
Like I
or
say,
3S, whatever
this-
they call it this
and
time.
like I said, this whole vertical thing, be able to flip the camera on the side.
Yeah.
Like I told folks, that was something back in the original Mavic
Right.
Pro, and it didn't last because back then we didn't have a platform that made everybody go to these vertical videos. That's the only reason that's something right now, because for you to do Facebook Reels, TikTok, and YouTube videos, shorts, they want you shooting this vertical mode, which is straight. Like I say, now to me on drones, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense because I would say 70-80% of people do their editing on a PC or a tablet. So I'm thinking that, okay, you can't change the aspect ratio and 90% of the editing software. I mean, even the little software I got here on my computer is called Clipchamp, which comes in Microsoft. Was it version 11 now? You can change that. You can change the aspect ratio whatever you want, from 1:1 to 9:16 to 16:9 to whatever you want it to be. So I'm like, okay. So I don't know. Like I say, I'll just stay in my commercial world. let everybody else stay in the hobbyist side of life and buy all these drones up and have a great time.
The high end hobby ones are better than or as good as or better than the commercial ones from just 2-3 years ago. I mean that's what's going on here.
Well, that's a yes and no proposition on that. Where how to use, I think, enterprise level drones are not cinematic. I mean, you can fly it cinematic, you can get some nice footage, but you can't. None of them have a variable aperture. None of them even have manual settings. So you're not. What you get is what you see is what you get.
Yeah.
On an enterprise drone, for the most part. And so I mean, that's just about it. Now you go back to the old Phantom 4 Pro. That is the drone that was able to do both cinematic type footage, and it can be used in the commercial aspect also. And that's why everybody's hoping that the Mavic 3E will be in the same type of category, that it will be able to do cinematic and mapping also, or construction type work, or whatever you want to call it, and go from there. 'Cause I don't know. I haven't heard anybody say if the Mavic 3E has manual controls over the camera or not. I haven't dived in it deep enough.
Hey, would you relax?
Yeah, Lon says, Zach, if you on the Mavic 3, it's a waste of time flying any other consumer drone, period.
How you doing, brother Brent Emo Possum?
Yeah.
Uh,
So like I to say, Bill, that, I mean, some of the lesser, I hate to call them lesser, but I would say the current consumer lineup for cinematic footage is way better than any enterprise drone that is out there
Betito.
because you can mess with the settings. You can fly in a D-Log, 10-bit, all this kind of stuff. Things you can't do with the enterprise drones at all. And that's why I was saying earlier that I take my
No.
Enterprise Advanced to work every day with me because it does give me the thermal capabilities. But if you fly slow and steady, you can get some good footage
I'll
out of
tell
it.
you the truth. People that already own, like, say, an Air 2S, it would have to be a major upgrade to go to an Air 3S. Because if it's like anything in the past, because the Air 2S is already rock solid drone, reliable, rock solid drone that takes great video.
Yeah.
To go and replace it, I don't think it's going to happen. Now, folks that are flying minis that want a better drone might jump to an Air 3S, unless I could be wrong. Unless they're going to really, but like I said, they would have to get to the point where it's almost a Mavic 3 with a smaller body
Yeah. Well,
for
that's
someone
what,
to want to buy it.
yeah, and that's what I say. For those who want to step up the ladder and the consumer level, and you start off with a mini 1, 2, or 3, the airline gives you that step up ability if you don't want to spend the money to get a Mavic 3 and so forth. Just like Lon's saying, yeah, the Mavic 3E is the heir apparent to replace the Phantom 4 Pro. I just say I'll probably eventually buy one in the next year or two for that purpose because it is the heir apparent for what I do. Now, will the Mavic 3E be my all-in-one drone? Probably not. I'll probably still want to use my Phantoms for cinematic purposes. Unless I go out, I just don't see myself replacing everything with a Mavic 3 that has that 4/3 sensor on it. But side by side comparison, my eyes can't tell the difference between what a 1-inch sensor shows and a 4/3 sensor shows. I'm sure there is a difference, but my eyeballs can't tell.
Well, in the majority of the flying I do it completely in auto. The only thing I might change is the f-stop.
Yeah.
But if you're really into it, like you say, D-Log and all those other things.
Yeah.
No.
It all depends upon what you're looking for.
Candy.
Yeah.
Maybe the Air 3S stays with the 1-inch sensor, gives you a variable, and just gives you much improved night vision. And that's going to be their selling, I guess.
And see, you brought something up right there, Bill, where you would say even as far back, not even far back, I would say 2 or 3 years ago, night flying wasn't a big deal. It wasn't. Now everybody's night flying. It's like most of the videos you see out there, somebody's doing a hyperlapse at night, they're flying to some city at night, and everything else.
Well, I mean, but it opens up more to people that still work for a living that have to be at work all day, and they go home. I mean, I feel like throwing the drone up. Why bother? You can't see shit. I mean, you can't always be lucky and get stuff like this.
Right.
But if I mean, if that does open up more flying to you, I mean, because I mean, even this, it's not that great. I just got lucky. I got a endless lightning storm that happened to be happening when I was doing it.
Because of these new capabilities, it is opened up a whole area that people are actually looking for something just to fly at night. And that's my whole point is that, now everybody's worried about, what can I do at night? When 2 or 3 years ago, hardly anybody even flew at night.
Yep.
And stuff. Now everybody, even Paul Murray
dusk,
flies at night.
Even dusk, where the light starting to go down, it looks terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, the pixelation on a regular camera is just terrible. In low light compared to if the camera is capable of low light, then it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Let's face it, even between an Air 2S and the Mavic 3 hell's it called? Not the Pro, the other one. With the single camera.
The Mavic 3 Pro.
No, not the Pro. The other one. The one that's
Classic.
only got a single camera on it.
Mavic 3 Classic.
Yeah,
Classic, thank you.
Yeah.
Even the difference is almost double price wise. You know,
Mhm.
so for them to land somewhere in there, I think that's what they're looking for, is to grab some of that, some of the market that is willing to spend a little more, but not ready to get into, because once it's more than just the price between the drones, because the fly more kit's more expensive. The accessories are more expensive. So maybe they'll get us for $1,400, $1,500, $1,400, whatever, instead of 17 plus a fly more $2,000.
Mhm.
There's a lot of room there. So there's room to put a drone in there, but it's going to have something that's worth flying to the average Joe.
Yeah.
Or to the average Joe who wants to advance a little bit, without spending a shit ton of money.
Yeah. Well, like I said, when I told somebody about a year or two ago when DJI was flooding the market with all these minis, is that they're covering all their bases and put it in an Air 3 would just be another slot on the shelf to make sure that any competitors can't, in other words, fill a gap that DJI doesn't have their fingers on. And like I said,
they're filling every single slot. Except the absolute trash slot, which is below 300.
Yeah,
but they're filling every single slot,
Mhm.
and they're just gonna squeeze everybody else out, because why would you spend that for that when you can have this? No matter what level you're at, you can make that argument. Why would you buy a $350 Holy Stone when you can have a $339 Mini 2SE? And then you move up a little bit. Why would you have that when you have this and so on?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. And most folks who opt to buy I guess we call it now, sub $300 drones are quickly going right back or upgrading, because whatever brand they bought before just doesn't measure up, and they hear so much on social media about other drones, is that they say, okay, let me go ahead and reach my pocket and really spend the money I should have spent the first time and get something worthwhile. Because I very rarely have heard anybody say, once they buy something at a DJI level, say, "Oh, I hate it so much, I just took it back."
You don't. They're saying that it's just for clicks. Like Lon says, it's not another slot, the same slot that it currently occupies. Well, and to be there, they can't go up that much more.
Mm-hmm.
Right? A couple $100, I think, above what they're paying now for the Air 2S.
Mm-hmm.
And how long are they going to keep the Air 2S if the Air 3S comes out?
Well, the reason why I say, Lon, another slot, because like I said, the Air 2S is what, 2 years old now?
Yep.
2 years old. Most of us have underwear older than 2 years old. But here we are going through drones, almost like
blink of the eye.
Yeah, blink of an eye, like it's like picking apples doing this on a seasonal thing. We're going through them so quick. It's crazy.
I still like my Mini 2, and I bought that 3 years ago.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just
Stop. Come here. Stop. Get over here.
So it's
that child is way too cute for you, Adrian.
Stop. Okay. Stop.
She's like,
Okay.
yeah, sure. She said, "Yeah, I'm gonna stop. All right, as soon as you stop hitting me."
Look at me. Stop. Okay. Thank you. What was that, Drake?
I said, "She gonna stop until you stop hitting her."
Yeah, she wanna give me
And
that.
that's another thing too. Do they need, if they do a 3S, does that mean they got to retire the 2S? And I don't think so.
Hey, Drake,
No.
It's even in cars, Chrysler had a 200 and a 300.
Right.
And they just market, that's their levels. They market it. They may do some software or some improvements and like that.
Mhm.
And but if the drone's still popular and people are still buying it, they're not going to retire it.
Well, like I said, it's the Air 2S is only 2 years old. As far as in drone years, that's my own say it's a decade old. But there's still a lot of people out there using it. And then because of the updates over the last couple of years, now people are willing to use the Air 2 and Air 2S for commercial work because now the SDK has come out and they're able to do some mapping work with them and other things. So there's a longer shelf life than we all think it is, I should say.
Yeah, Mark, I don't know how cheap this Chrysler 300 actually was. He's saying it's a cheap copy. I mean, cheap compared to those, but they weren't cheap. Still a good car.
The Chrysler 300s?
I'm not a Chrysler fan, but it was a nice car.
Yeah, I have the Crossfire. My daughter drives. So the meaning for the 300, it was unless you bought the what was the top of the line one? Not the RT, but was the whole souped up one. I've seen one of those at a car show. That level was worth it. You got the big engine, you got the lowered body kit and everything else.
Ow.
That level of 300 was worth it. And so
I just thought they were sharp. I always kind of liked them. I wasn't, like I said, not a Chrysler fan, but I thought that was a sharp, nice. And I sat in one once, comfortable car. That's
well, Bill, you and Paul remember this. It always reminded me of the Green Hornet.
Yep.
The Green Hornet's car. That's what always reminded me of.
Ow, no. Don't bite me.
Yep. Very much so.
Yep. So that's why I never was a big fan of it. I said, I'm not driving around the Green Hornet because I don't have Kato driving me.
Well, you could get a blow up dial and a Kato blow up dial.
Yeah, something like that. So, yeah. But I am a big Bentley fan, though. That might be my next
really
driver. Yeah, I'm looking at a Continental and stuff. It might be a few years away and stuff. But that's what I'm eyeing. I'm getting too old to get into the smaller coupes. I'm having a hard time getting in and out of them.
Stop.
So the Continental's a little bigger off the ground.
You can get a Lincoln Aviator or something too if you want something bigger. Without spending $600,000. I'm just
like I said, I don't want an SUV. I just said I don't want one because there is an SUV I would probably settle for, and that's the Jaguar SVT. It's still
your Jags.
Yeah, that one has the big V8 in it, and I think it's something like 500 horsepower, something like that, in an SUV.
The big SUVs. I mean, they are comfortable though. I mean, I know my ass is kind of big, but I haven't been comfortable in anything since I had my Expedition.
Yeah,
I got rid of it.
Yeah, Matty, that's it. The 300 SRT. Those were the nice ones. Yeah, those were the nice ones. I seen a couple of those and stuff, but all the rest of them. Nah.
Hey, Marty, that's for you. Yes.
Oh man. Hey, Adrian, we about ready to call this dude?
Yeah. Because this little one is not gonna let me do anything.
No.
What'd you do? Feed her a bowl of sugar? I mean, she's going to town.
She went to a little kiddie party earlier, and it's over.
Mm-hmm.
So now she wants to spend time with Daddy.
Mm-hmm.
That big old piece of cake is like that crack cocaine for kids. She's not going to sleep.
Yeah. Well, I'll go ahead and get it started. Mr. Murray, you got anything for us before you say good night?
Good night.
That's it. Good night. Okay.
Good night. Okay. Bill, you got anything for us?
No, I'll see you guys tomorrow night, 10 o'clock, my channel.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
Bring something to talk about because I got nothing. Like always.
All right. I can say I'm back from vacation. So if anybody sees Justin, Matt, Norwest, who else was talking trash the other day? I was listening to him. Tell
Justin's
him I'm
live. Justin's, I think, is live right now, brother.
Yeah, tell him I'm looking for him. Tell him I'm looking for him.
Hey, Dre, they were really talking a lot of shit last night.
I know they were. I was listening.
And especially Justin. Justin was really hammering you.
Yeah, so you tell him I'm looking for him. I'm about to catch him in the morning on Paul's show Monday morning or something.
Yeah, there you go.
So you let them boys know I'm looking for him. Big time.
AJ, thanks
Down
for
the
having me
road. You
up.
came in late. We about
Bill's
to
always
wrap it
good to
up. Thank
see you
everybody in
and
the
Ray.
chat for popping in. Bill, Paul Murray, I really appreciate it. See you all later.
We'll see
Good
you.
night.
Good
All
night.
right.
With
Good
a
night.
pleasure, Adrian.
All right.
Little lady.